The truth behind Ryan's world, parents' downfall, and the lessons. Every influencer needs, from toy reviews to multi-million-dollar brand deals, Ryan's world rose to become a global YouTube empire. But behind the colorful videos and smiling faces lies a darker truth about Ryan's parents, one that every creator should pay attention to. We're exposing how greed, poor decisions, and parental mistakes transformed a billion-view empire into a cautionary tale. Watch until the end and learn the 6 lessons about ethics, fame, and child protection that could change the way you see online success. What if I told you that one of YouTube's biggest empires started with a 3-year-old opening a toy on camera? No fancy production, no corporate backing, just a kid, his parents, and a camera in their living room. In 2015, Ryan's parents hit upload on a simple video titled Ryan Toys Review. At the time, YouTube was already teeming with tech unboxings and product reviews, but no one had quite seen it through the eyes of a child. Their decision to film Ryan unboxing toys at just 3 years old was innocent at first, a fun family activity inspired by Ryan's own love of watching toy videos online. But what happened next would turn their small idea into one of the most profitable online brands in history. The formula was unexpectedly perfect. A kid, toys, genuine reactions, and the unstoppable power of the YouTube algorithm. Children across the world weren't just watching Ryan, they were Ryan. His joy, curiosity, and authenticity made kids feel like they were unwrapping the toys themselves. Parents trusted the content because it felt safe and relatable, and kids couldn't get enough of it. That combination of innocence, emotion, and engagement became the magic recipe that catapulted Ryan Toys Review to viral fame. As the channel grew, so did its production quality and ambitions. Videos that once featured small toy cars and Lego sets evolved into larger, story-driven content with bright visuals, catchy songs, and educational themes. Within just a few years, Ryan's videos had racked up billions of views. The brand expanded beyond YouTube into TV shows on Nickelodeon, toy aisles in Walmart, and partnerships with massive companies eager to tap into the Ryan's World phenomenon. By 2018, Forbes named Ryan one of the highest earning YouTubers on the planet, pulling in tens of millions of dollars annually. His channel had become a global franchise, spanning games, clothing lines, and even theme park attractions. What began as a family project had transformed into a digital empire. But as Ryan's world grew, so did the spotlight and the scrutiny that came with it. What started as genuine, unscripted fun slowly began to resemble a business operation, with parents, sponsors, and marketers shaping what viewers saw. The authenticity that once drew millions of fans became harder to maintain under the weight of fame and expectation. That leads us to our first key lesson. While authenticity creates magic, you must protect what made it special. Ryan's early charm wasn't built on money or branding. It was built on genuine joy. The moment that authenticity becomes calculated, the connection starts to fade. For creators, parents, and entrepreneurs alike, the rise of Ryan's World is a reminder that success built on sincerity is powerful, but keeping that sincerity alive amid fame and fortune is the real challenge. Don't go anywhere. We've got 5 more lessons to learn coming up. Behind every child prodigy or viral success story, there's often a pair of adults pulling the strings. And in the case of Ryan's World, those decision makers weren't Hollywood producers or digital strategists. They were Ryan's parents, Shion and Loann Kaji. Shion and Loann are the architects behind Ryan's World. Before fame, Loann worked as a high school chemistry teacher and Shion was an engineer. They were ordinary parents trying to capture their young son's joy on camera. But when Ryan Toys Review exploded, they quickly realized they were sitting on something extraordinary, a digital goldmine powered by their child's charm and authenticity. At first, it was all hands-on and homegrown. Loann filmed, edited, and uploaded every video herself, while Shion helped manage the growing technical and business side. Their family living room doubled as a film set, and toys were stacked in every corner. But as the numbers climbed, millions of views turning into billions, the Kajis faced a turning point. What started as a hobby had become a brand too big for a single household to manage. That's when they made a pivotal decision: to turn Ryan's World into a full-scale company. They founded Ryan's World LLC, effectively transforming their family content into a corporate empire. Overnight, the Kajis went from parents recording playtime to CEOs overseeing global partnerships. Every move from merchandise and licensing to media deals with Nickelodeon and Walmart was directed by them. Their control was absolute, and every aspect of Ryan's image was carefully managed to protect and expand the brand. But with success came complexity. The more Ryan's World grew, the more it resembled a business rather than a family activity. The innocence that once defined Ryan's content began to blend with marketing strategies, sponsorships, and product placement. What once looked like a child sharing his favorite toy became in many ways a billion-dollar advertising model built around childhood wonder. This shift sparked debate, not just about the Kaji's choices, but about the larger question of children's exposure in digital entertainment. Were they protecting Ryan's happiness or capitalizing on it? For many parents watching, it was a fascinating yet uneasy transformation, seeing everyday family life turned into a global brand. That brings us to lesson 2. When passion becomes profit, you must redefine your why. The Kaji story is a powerful reminder that success can blur boundaries. What starts as genuine excitement can quickly evolve into obligation, expectation, and pressure. When your business depends on personal moments, the line between authenticity and ambition gets harder to see. Staying grounded and remembering why you started becomes not just important, but essential. Because if you lose that why, even the biggest empires can start to feel empty. Make sure to watch all the way through, as you won't believe the lessons you've still to learn from the Kaji. What started as innocent fun suddenly faced serious accusations, legal scrutiny, and public outrage. The very thing that made Ryan's World beloved, its trust and authenticity, was now being questioned. By 2019, Ryan's World was at the peak of its success. The channel had evolved from simple toy unboxings into a billion-dollar brand spanning TV, merchandise, and global recognition. But beneath the glossy image, cracks began to form. That same year, the FTC, or Federal Trade Commission, received a formal complaint against Ryan's World, alleging deceptive advertising practices aimed at children, a charge that would shake the online creator world. The complaint, filed by the consumer watchdog group TINA, or Truth in Advertising, claimed that over 90% of Ryan's videos blurred the line between ads and entertainment. In other words, many videos featured paid promotions or product placements, but young viewers weren't being told which parts were ads. To millions of children watching, every toy Ryan played with seemed like a genuine recommendation, when in reality, many were part of lucrative brand deals. For the first time, the public saw Ryan's World not just as a family channel, but as a business, and one that was allegedly profiting from an audience too young to understand marketing. Critics argued that the Kajis had crossed an ethical line, using their child's innocence as a vehicle for profit. What was once cute content suddenly felt calculated. The backlash was swift. Social media erupted with debates and outrage. Were Ryan's parents parenting or profiting? Comment sections, forums, and parenting blogs filled with criticism. Some defended the family's success as a product of hard work and entrepreneurship, while others saw it as a troubling symbol of how far the YouTube economy had gone. Parenting communities, in particular, grew increasingly vocal. They questioned the impact of fame and financial pressure, on a young child, and whether constant filming could ever truly be normal. The Kajis issued statements defending their integrity and promised greater transparency moving forward, but the damage to public trust was already done. Over time, Ryan's World continued to operate, but its image had changed. The controversy became a turning point, not just for the Kajis, but for the entire kid content industry. Regulators, advertisers, and parents began demanding clearer labeling, ethical boundaries, and protection for child creators. That takes us to lesson 3. Ethics in content creation isn't optional, especially when kids are involved. In the rush to grow, monetize, and maintain relevance, it's easy to forget the human side of the story, especially when that story belongs to a child. The rise and controversy of Ryan's World serve as a cautionary tale for every creator and parent. Success without ethics is a ticking time bomb. In the digital world, trust is your most valuable currency, and once it's gone, it's almost impossible to earn back. You'll want to find out the final lesson to be learned, which happens to be at the end. Trust me. What began as a charming family YouTube channel evolved into a sprawling empire, with Ryan's face on everything from toys and t-shirts to video games and streaming shows. But as the brand exploded, something else began to fade: the innocence that once made it special. After the success of Ryan Toys Review, the Kajis saw limitless potential and they seized it. The channel's popularity opened doors to massive brand partnerships, product lines, and media deals. Before long, Ryan's World had expanded into a full-blown franchise. There were Ryan's World toys on Walmart shelves, clothing lines in major retailers, and even mobile and console video games letting kids play as Ryan. The family's YouTube empire became a business juggernaut worth millions, but it came at a cost. Critics began to argue that Ryan had been turned into a walking advertisement. Every product, every video, and every show seemed to circle back to selling something. The child who once played with toys for fun was now the face of a marketing machine. Parents and watchdog groups started asking hard questions. Was Ryan still a kid having fun, or the centerpiece of a billion-dollar brand strategy? The turning point came with Ryan's Mystery Playdate, a Nickelodeon show that blurred the line between children's entertainment and brand promotion. On the surface, it was fun, colorful, and family-friendly, but beneath that, it carried the same commercial undertone as the YouTube videos. It wasn't just content anymore. It was marketing disguised as playtime. This over-commercialization fueled a growing public backlash. What was once admired as a family success story now faced moral and ethical scrutiny. Viewers began to express fatigue and frustration. Social media comments shifted from admiration to concern. Is Ryan's childhood being sold? The charm that once drew audiences in now seemed replaced by corporate polish and commercial intent. Even loyal fans started to lose interest. Oversaturation dulled the magic. The Ryan's World logo was everywhere, on screens, store aisles, and product packaging, and it became too much. The very scale of success turned against the brand, breeding cynicism and fatigue. Behind the scenes, speculation grew about burnout, both for the family managing it all and for audiences tired of constant promotion. As public trust declined, Ryan's World became a symbol of what happens when personal brands grow faster than they can sustain authenticity. Lesson 4 was clear for creators everywhere. Overexposure kills credibility. Protect your brand's human side. When every moment becomes monetized, audiences stop seeing the person and start seeing the product. Success in the digital age isn't just about scale, it's about sustainability. The rise and overexposure of Ryan's World remind creators that growth must be balanced with restraint. Because once your story starts feeling like a commercial, the connection that built it begins to disappear. The ending? It's where the lesson learning really gets good. Every empire built on viral fame eventually faces a reckoning. And for Ryan's World, that moment came when the audience stopped believing in the magic. By the early 2020s, Ryan's World was everywhere, but everywhere soon became too much. The audience that once couldn't get enough of Ryan's playful energy began to drift away. Audience fatigue set in. The endless stream of branded videos, toys, and spin-offs made the channel feel more like a business than a family. Views and engagement started to decline, a subtle but unmistakable sign that the public had moved on. Adding to the challenge, YouTube itself began changing the rules. After mounting pressure from regulators and advocacy groups, the platform introduced new restrictions on kids' content, including limits on data collection, personalized ads, and comments. For creators like Ryan's World, whose success depended heavily on children's engagement and ad revenue, the impact was massive. Monetization dropped, discoverability shrank, and algorithmic reach plummeted. At the same time, the public's perception of Ryan's parents began to shift. Once admired for their entrepreneurship, Shion and Loann were increasingly viewed as overly commercial and out of touch. Critics argued that they had turned Ryan into a brand rather than letting him be a child. The authenticity that once made the channel special had been replaced by polished production and corporate partnerships. As Ryan grew older, his innocence, which was the heart of the brand, was impossible to replicate. Audiences who had watched him as a toddler could tell that the magic was gone. The charm of a child discovering the world had become the routine of a young influencer fulfilling obligations. Viewers didn't feel the same connection anymore, and many simply moved on to the next big thing. In the end, Ryan's World became a cautionary tale about success built on a single moment in time. If your business depends on a child, you have to plan for what happens when they grow up. That is lesson 5. Children change, audiences evolve, and platforms shift. What works at age 3 can't be sustained at 13. The Kajis built an empire on childhood wonder, but when that wonder faded, so did the empire's shine. What we reveal at the end about the final lesson to be learned from the Kajis might just surprise you. For Shion and Loann Kaji, the meteoric rise that once made them YouTube royalty has now settled into a quieter, more complicated chapter. So where are they now? And what does their story really say about the cost of turning childhood into content? Today, Ryan's World is still active. Videos continue to upload regularly. Toys still line store shelves, and the brand remains recognizable across the globe. But the explosive growth that once defined it has plateaued. The viral spark that once brought in billions of views per month has cooled into a steady, predictable rhythm. The empire built on unboxing toys has matured, and so has Ryan. As Ryan grew older, his parents began shifting their focus from day-to-day filming to long-term media expansion and rebranding. They understood that Ryan could no longer play the same role he did as a preschooler. Instead, they've pushed the brand into broader, family-oriented content, educational projects, animation, and digital media ventures. Their goal now seems to be transitioning Ryan's World from a child-centered YouTube channel into a lasting entertainment brand that can evolve beyond its young star. Behind the scenes, Shion and Loann still remain at the helm, managing business deals, licensing, and brand direction. They have diversified into new ventures under the Kaji Family Network, extending into streaming collaborations, books, and even nonprofit initiatives related to education and digital safety. However, despite these efforts, public trust remains mixed. For many, the Kajis are still seen as pioneers, parents who recognize the potential of online media early and built a global business from scratch. But for others, their story remains controversial. Questions linger about how much of Ryan's early success was his own choice, and whether any level of fame justifies the commercial pressure placed on a child. It sparked a broader discussion that goes far beyond one family. Should child influencers even exist at this scale? As governments worldwide move towards stricter protections for child creators, the Ryan's World saga serves as a pivotal case study in how family content can blur ethical and emotional boundaries. It's a reminder that behind every viral child star is a real person growing up, under the weight of public expectation and corporate opportunity. That's where Lesson 6 comes in. Legacy matters more than virality. Build something that outlives the spotlight. The Kaji's journey shows that fame is fleeting. Algorithms change, and audiences move on, but integrity and intention endure. The true test of success isn't how many views you get, it's what remains after the attention fades. For Shion and Loann, the next chapter isn't about going viral. It's about proving that what they built can stand without the camera rolling. Ryan's World proved that even the biggest success can collapse when money outweighs meaning. Fame is temporary, while integrity is forever. For anyone chasing success, remember, your values are your greatest asset. Lose them, and the empire crumbles. To start building wealth with purpose, check out the trusted links we've included in the description below.